Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert. And Chris, you gotta let me know when you're just gonna leave it hanging there.
Oh, I don't know. I figured that's kind of our thing now.
That you always leave it hanging for someone else to pick up.
My creative juices are gone. They're gone.
You're just a dried up husk of formerly creative Chris.
Exactly. That's exactly right. I have no more witty intros. I was gonna say it's our triumphant return, but I guess it's my triumphant return.
It's true. So, I've been here the entire time.
Tud's been waiting. He's been on this phone call for 6 weeks or whatever.
I've been here recording Drinking Alone with Alone.
Drinking Alone with Alone.
I've drank all my beer.
We know that's not true.
I've developed a alcohol dependence now.
I think you could literally record 60 episodes of Drinking Alone with Tud and still have new beers to drink.
Dude, that's rookie numbers. I think I could record like 250 episodes of Drinking Alone with Tud and still have new beers to drink.
Okay.
Don't cut me short. I got a lot of episodes of Drinking Alone with myself.
Good to know. We're ready for the spinoff podcast.
Yeah, right.
But no, welcome to the new year. This is our first recording of the new year. I think we're all like refreshed and ready to go and like back at it with new Drinking Alone energy, except for Chris, obviously, who's already told us he was dried up like a crumbly sponge.
He just needs some beer and he'll be back to normal.
Like that episode of SpongeBob where they go to Sandy's. That's
exactly right. That's me. That is me right now. I'm SpongeBob in Sandy's dome. So until I get the fishbowl full of beer over my head to make everything all better.
Yeah. I don't want to stand in the way
I
of that.
actually remember this episode of SpongeBob.
Oh, it's a classic. Oh. How could you not?
Yeah, it is a classic. My kids are into SpongeBob now, and but they're watching new SpongeBob, which is worse than old SpongeBob.
They still make SpongeBob?
Oh yeah, it's a whole Spongeverse. It's ridiculous. They love him. They love him though. Like
is that a technical term?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I think he's gonna join the Avengers or something. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
That's his next character arc. They're in licensing terms with Marvel now.
Yeah, but
wait, so have you played the old episodes for your kids?
So sometimes like because they watch this like new movie and it's like mostly CGI, which I'm not a fan of.
There's SpongeBob movies.
Oh yeah. There's a lot. There was SpongeBob movies when we were kids.
My mind is exploding right now.
Yeah, I think it was one. Yeah,
it was just called the SpongeBob movie.
It's called SpongeBob, but long. So sometimes the old episodes will play, and I'll be like, "Oh, I remember this episode. Whatever. This is a classic." And then they go right back to the movies. Oh man! But they do love singing. Lukey loves singing the theme song. He was singing it today. We didn't even watch SpongeBob today, so
it's a good song.
It is. It's very catchy. It's very catchy, and we know who's absorbent and porous and whatever. Absorbent and yellow and porous is he. There we go. Yeah. There we got it. We got there.
If anybody is looking to make us another parody song, now that we've played the Mortal Kombat one about 160 times, I think a Drinking Alone with Friends SpongeBob theme song parody would go really well.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
That could be our new intro music.
Yeah.
There we go.
If somebody wrote a good one, we would definitely make that the intro. We should, if you got some good lyrics, drop them in the Discord. Cause
oh man, that would be epic. That would be epic. Oh yeah, man,
I want this to happen, but they have to sing it. There's no putting that on us to sing it. They have to do it.
I mean, we'll tell you what. We'll drop the O, okay? Like,
we'll sing the chorus part. Whatever you're going to replace the SpongeBob SquarePants with, that will be the chorus. But
No. They have to do it all.
okay.
I mean, you could drinking alone with friends. I don't know.
Yeah, we're working on it still.
Listen, this is your job, not ours.
Yeah.
This burden's been put on you.
We just drink beer and tell you about how good it tastes. That's what we do here. But speaking of how good beer is, I believe one of you is about to drink some.
That would be correct.
That is correct.
So now that we're back from our, well, I'm not back. Now that you guys are back from our holiday break, I thought I would share one of my Christmas presents with you guys. My cool mug that I got.
Ooh, it has a T.
For Tud.
T for Tud.
That's a nice mug.
It even says Tud on the bottom.
I like
it does say Tud on the bottom. That's pretty cool.
I only, my one issue, 2 handles missing on that mug, I think.
There is only one handle on this mug, and it's not Frosty, because as we know, you should not stick your glassware in a freezer.
I don't remember learning that. Is that just because you don't want your beer too cold?
Yeah, it gets your beer too cold. It could form like icicles. I don't know. You're not supposed to do it.
Okay.
A lot of beer rules. I just follow them. I don't make the rules.
Oh, I break them. So you keep your glasses in the fridge.
I keep my glasses in a cabinet.
Lightly chilled glassware.
Well, yes, lightly chilled to whatever temperature my house is, the glassware is. So I'm going to drink my beer out of this cool mug that my aunt got me for Christmas. Everybody else got their actual name on a mug. I did not. I got
you got Tud. Fitting.
Nice.
I don't get M. I get T for Tud.
I was going to say, I was like, would you even want one that said your actual name that we are not allowed to say on the podcast due to legal terms?
No. It would. In fact, if my aunt put it on a cup, unfortunately, we'd have to kill her. So,
oh wow.
I thought that was the rule. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to drink out of this mug to drink this beer. This beer this week is from Back East Brewery. And
I was going to say, are we going to cue in the listeners? Aren't we doing like a special episode this week? Or
we have a theme.
We should have a theme.
We should make the listeners guess what the theme is.
Yes. We'll tell them after we're done drinking all 3 beers.
We will not at all. We will not finish this recording until someone has guessed correctly what the theme is. So.
Yeah, and we won't acknowledge when it's correct.
No.
We'll never tell you.
You'll never know.
So my beer this week, 16-ounce can. I'm impressed that my hand can do this. I got a big enough hand to do this. Oh, look at that. That's impressive. Can I do it with the index finger? Barely. It is Winterfest by Back East Brewery. It is an ale brewed with honey and cinnamon. Weighs in at 6.5 ABV, and the can is a winter scene, which we haven't gotten in Connecticut this year, which is a whole bunch of snow on the ground, some pine trees, and just looks like a very calm night. This actually brings me feelings of, when you go outside and it's snowing and how silent it is outside.
I was going to say, you could almost call it a silent night, even.
It would be a silent night. But that's what it kind of reminded me of, is that there's just not a lot of... When you go outside during a snowfall, it's the only time I like snow, is when it's snowing. You can go outside and you can hear like a pin drop.
Yeah, all is still, all is bright. Exactly. Yeah.
But then you have to fire up the snowblower, and then all is not silent, and it's still all bright, though, because snow is fucking bright. So... I have no fingernails. This is really difficult. All right, got it.
No infringing on Chris's trademark opening pour this episode.
I didn't hear anything. Did it come through?
No.
I was going to say, I think...
No, I'm too skilled of a pourer to let it come
legal
through.
fees. Legal fees came through.
So...
Finally.
As you can see, it poured very nice. This glass has a nice bit of head on it, about 3/4 of an inch. It is amber in color. It does not, or it does pass the T-Rex test. I mean, you can barely see the light, but you can see it a little bit. But T-Rex is not finding you in this.
If it
no
was
matter how hard he tried.
Really smart deer wouldn't get hit by a car. Average deer, you're at least clipping it.
You're trying to get rid of the T-Rex now and trying to make it a deer rating scale?
Well, no, that was always the headlights, right? Like, it's kind.
Could you dodge the car as a human?
Right. Yeah.
Dumb human, no. Smart human, yes.
Average T-Rex wouldn't see you.
On the nose, it smells like your standard ale. I don't get any of the honey or the cinnamon on the nose. They're both not very fragrant scents, though. So that does not... I mean, cinnamon, I guess, is...
Yeah, cinnamon you can smell for miles.
But not in a beer form. Have you ever sniffed a beer and gone, it smells cinnamony?
I guess not. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything, but I'm sure there's something.
Nope, never happened.
Never has happened once in the history of beer.
Nope.
All beers.
So let's see what it tastes like. It smells like it's going to be a really good amber beer. Ooh, that's good. That is a nice ale. It's got a nice solid backbone, malt backbone, a little bit of like mushy banana flavor to it. But then the cinnamon and the honey blend really well and add a nice sweetness at the end to it that makes this really, really nice. It doesn't have any, you could tell that there's some bitterness to it, but the honey and the cinnamon kind of kill that, which is pretty nice. So it's just kind of a smooth drinking amber ale. Yeah, that blends very well. It's a really, really solid beer. I wish there was a little bit more cinnamon. It's not as cinnamon forward as you would think it would be. But the honey is very prevalent. It adds a nice bit of sweetness to it at the end that makes this a delicious beer. Hang on one second. Let me pour the rest of the can in just to see if that changes the flavor at all. Maybe some of the cinnamon settled at the bottom.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that winter is one of my top seasonal beer seasons, but it's not bottom either.
Yeah,
solid third.
This is very different. It's very different from the winter warmer, like the Sam Adams winter warmer, because this has a lot more flavor to it than that one does. The honey definitely makes it more flavorful. The bottom of the can did not change the flavor profile at all. Maybe a little bit more sweet, but maybe that's because the bottom of the can was a little bit warmer than what was in the glass. Don't know how that. I don't know thermodynamics like some people on this podcast.
Flavordynamics. You know that.
I do know Flavordynamics.
So, but I have to follow up with something you just said, because you said it doesn't taste like the Sam Adams winter warmer at all. But to me, the flavors you're describing and the color of the beer, it sounds like it's at least the same style of winter ale. Like,
it's the same style, but I don't remember the winter warmer, and it's been years since I've had it, so Sam Adams, hold off on that cease and desist order.
You can send more beer glasses, but
yeah, keep on sending 2 small beer glasses.
The next ones you're gonna get are gonna be an ounce smaller than the previous ones. They're gonna keep going down from there.
Fun fact: when Obert was at my house 2 weeks ago, I made him drink out of those glasses. So he has seen them, and he has seen how frustratingly small they are too.
I have.
It's the same style, correct? But I haven't had it in years, and I don't remember the winter warmer having this much of like a honey flavor to it. Where this is more, it's very honey forward, if that makes sense, or honey back. It's like honey backed. I like the word honey backed. It's very honey backed. Where
it's got that honey back, yeah.
Where I feel like the winter warmer didn't have that. I don't know what the flavor profile of the winter warmer was, but I don't think I don't remember it having anything really added to it either. Could be wrong.
Well, for episode 252 of Drinking Alone with Tud, we'll have to get you a winter warmer.
I mean, somebody could look it up and tell me if I'm completely wrong, but I don't remember it having other flavors. I think it was just a standard winter warmer ale, brewed with maybe like essences of trees. I don't know.
No, yeah, the spices you were talking about, like the more or less cinnamon and allspicey with like a richer, maltier ale, is what I think of when I picture a winter warmer. It had some sweetness, like most darker ales do, but yeah, I think regardless, it's, if you don't remember, it's probably not a good beer to compare it to. But
yeah, and as this beer, this Winterfest beer that I'm drinking warms up, and I'm holding it in front of a heater right now to kind of help with that thermodynamics again. Engineer Tud over here. I am getting a little bit more cinnamon flavor now that it is warming up. It's not, I took this out however long ago before we started this podcast. Still thought it was a little cold. Sitting here holding it in front of the heater, it's kind of warmed it up a little bit. Maybe I'll call it a couple degrees. You do tend to get a little bit more of that cinnamon. But the honey still kind of gets rid of all that bitterness and that maltiness. It's really just a smooth. You get that amber flavor then directly in the honey, and the cinnamon kind of sends you off into the silent night of winter.
The Cineverse.
Yes. I really like this beer. I think back east, they don't get a lot of credit in Connecticut for being as good as they are amongst the local drinkers. I think they get a lot of credit nationally, but they don't get nearly enough recognition locally for being as solid as they are. Because Ice Cream Man is always on the lists of the best IPAs in the country, and that the biggest claim to fame is that it was number 5 one year, and nobody in Connecticut talks about it. But I always like back east, and they're not too far from my house, and I do like to go there a lot. I'm gonna give this a solid 4. I think this is it's a good beer, a solid drinker. I'm excited that I have more in the fridge of this to drink to keep me warm through this mild winter that we're having so far.
Yeah. The one thing about back east, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's them. I know they get a lot of love for Ice Cream Man, and Ice Cream Man is very good. Not going to take it away from them, but like their best beer I think I've had was like, I think it's them. Their Ex Machina, the Russian Imperial Stout.
That's them.
I love that thing. That thing was so good. My older brother got me a 6-pack, or however, I think it came in a 6-pack at the time, at least, a couple Christmases ago. And those things are delicious, and they knock you on your butt.
Yeah, they do. I know you haven't been to the new brewery, Chris. I don't even know if you went to the original brewery.
I've never been there either.
I don't think I've ever been to either one, yeah.
So they underwent this like massive, during COVID, this massive expansion. And now they've got like 25 beers on tap at all times. It's a lot. And they cross spectrums. They've got, double scoop and triple scoop and Gelato Girl now, which are all spin-offs of Ice Cream Man. And then they've got a whole sour line, and they've got a whole stout line. They've got a ton of beer, and it's all really solid. I wouldn't say anything is like, Fox Farm level if we're talking Connecticut style.
Right.
But it's it's as solid as anything you're going to find. And it's, if it's between that and going with like your standard off the shelf, like Too Juicy or, Sip of Sunshine or something like that, I'm reaching for Ice Cream Man or one of Back East's offerings over them any day of the week.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I know Chris has said something similar to this too, but I walked into Broadway package store in Colchester when I was home in Connecticut, and just the stuff that you can find just all over Connecticut now, it just like brings a little tear to my eye. And I'm just a little bit heartbroken that they had to wait till after I left to be able to find, Ice Cream Man and all these other great beers just like on the shelf at every package store, like super fresh, like they're turning this stuff over. I'm like, man, things have changed since I left. And that was only 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago.
And it's not slowing. Connecticut, for whatever reason, is not slowing down with the craft beer scene. I know that they've said nationally they expect craft breweries to like slow down to like a 5% growth year over year in 2023. But I can think of 3 or 4 different breweries that are already set to open in Connecticut that are just opening within the first half of the year. And that's just what I know of. So for whatever reason, Connecticut is supporting their breweries, and their breweries are supporting them right back by giving us great beer. I think 12% helps a lot with that, because they do make it easy for breweries to distribute their beer now.
Yeah. Well,
that's very true.
I can't wait till you have one of these new breweries on the podcast. But for now,
coming soon,
you'll have to tell me what you think the 2,834 other people that rated this beer thought about it. And again, you went with a 4, right?
I went with a 4.
Just reminding our listeners.
I'm going to say that people are going to be lower than me just because of the style. I think Back East doesn't really have much hot pipe anymore, as we just discussed. I'm going to go with a 3.379.
Solid guess, but your instinct was right. They don't have a lot of hype.
Even lower, huh?
Yeah, it's a 3.57.
Golly!
Wow. Well, at least I got a check mark from last week, or the last episode, because I was all by myself.
Yeah, I don't remember I don't think you gave a guess, so I think that disqualifies it.
Oh no, I did give a guess. I had to look it up myself too.
It's don't remember, but
it's only a 10-minute episode. You can go back and listen.
Yeah, I'll have to go double check.
I'm kind of bummed that it was so low. That's really low.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think it's an unpopular style.
But it's not a 3.5 beer by any means. I mean, I guess if you get it from the brewery and it's really cold, or if people are drinking this and they don't let it warm up to room temperature, they're not going to get the flavors, I guess. So, I could see it, I guess.
Yeah. You know what this beer kind of reminds me of? Have you ever had Wormtown Brewing out of Worcester?
I went there with Chris.
Yeah.
Have you ever had their Blizzard of 78?
Yeah.
No.
It's their winter beer, and it sounds, I think, a little bit less sweet than what your beer was. If you liked the one that you just had, I would recommend finding
I'll
it.
check it out. I think Wormtown's a solid offering too. Another one that just sits on the shelves in Connecticut that nobody really thinks about. Bee Hoppy is all over the place now.
Well, anyway, so leaving it wide open. Let's see if Chris can do any better than the .22.
Oh, probably not. As Todd was talking, saying, "Oh, let your beer warm up, etc., etc." I was like, "Ah, crap! I didn't do that." But it's okay. I'm gonna be a trooper, and I'm gonna drink through the cold. But I have an offering from the brewery whose shirt I'm wearing right now. Surprise to nobody. Which is Fox Farm. People already knew. I wasn't even going to say what the brewery was.
Yeah, they knew.
People already knew. This was my Christmas present, by the way. I have a new Fox Farm shirt. So
I don't think you've not worn a Fox Farm T-shirt since I've seen you for the past 7 years.
No, I have some new T-shirts now.
No, I don't remember it. I don't have a memory of it. I think your closet's full of Fox Farm.
I wear my counterweight T-shirt sometimes.
I don't remember it.
I do. It's definitely a thing.
Obert, can you back me up on this?
I can recall it. Yeah, I'm with Chris on this one. I've seen the counterweight shirt, but
yes,
but he does have. Did you at least retire an old Fox Farm shirt when you added this one into the rotation?
I think
or
he
is
has
this
every
just
color
like
now.
number 5?
No, I think this is like number 5. I think there is one with a hole in it. It's a small hole.
Do you have every color?
No, I don't. Listen. As a big boy, I don't mess around with the light colors. I need the dark colors. I need the dark colors. They're slimming. But anyways, I have my last Fox Farm beer that I am going to be sharing with y'all tonight. And this one, I actually had one. I was saving it. My mom came down. When my mom comes down, she brings me beer every time. So I was saving one of these for the podcast. For some reason, through some kind of mishap or mismanagement of beer, it never ended up happening. So it sat and sat and sat. My mom came down again and brought me another can of the same beer. So I was like, well, now I got 2. So I've already had one of these beers. But I did not check it in, out of loyalty, because I still wanted to share it with the podcast, But I was like, damn, I've been sitting on this beer for what seemed like months. And I was like, I want to try it so bad. So I have Fox Farms Echoes, which is their Baltic Porter, and it's aged in bourbon barrels with stainless steel and honey. So that's why I said poop when I didn't pull it out of the fridge in a timely manner, because it is something you want to warm up a little bit.
I can do my review if you want.
No, it's okay. Listen, like I said, I am like I said, and then you built upon. I am a dried up sponge, waiting for moisture. waiting for moisture.
In the form of malted barley.
Yes, exactly. So I'm gonna crack this bad boy open. But I wanted to ask, because Obert said it, and I wanted to get your official, and I could put Ober on the spot here. Your official 1 through 4 favorite beer drinking seasons.
Fall, summer, winter, spring.
Fall first.
Oktoberfest, baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was trying to think.
Fresh hops too. Those are both fall beers.
So what the hell is spring?
Spring is when they just try to offload crap to you. I don't know. According to Sam Adams, spring starts tomorrow. So who knows? They have what is their cold snap that they do?
I do like cold snap.
Yeah.
I do like cold snap.
I feel like sometimes Sam Adams, they start so early that they might have a secret 5th season that they have between cold snap and their summer ale that I'm not sure about.
Is that when they try to do the shandy?
Maybe. I don't know. I think shandy would be even later than their summer ale, because wait till it's hot for shandy.
Yeah. I don't know. Sure. I always feel like, I don't know. That's a tough one. But
okay.
Good points on the fall. Good points on the fall.
Yeah. What's your ranking?
Well, now you got me thinking again. Golly. Because I was thinking, oh, I guess spring would be last. Spring would be last.
You were thinking pumpkin beers for fall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, they don't always do it for me. But I don't know. Winter and summer, I could probably swap those two. Put winter second, because I do like, and I know hashtag it's always stout season, but like I generally drink my stouts in the in the winter, so I do love myself some stouts. But I don't know. I do love myself a shandy though. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. If
so
only
Chris's
they released...
answer is 1-1-1-1.
No, and then
Four-way tie.
Four-way tie. I do like Cold Snap though. I just beer in general.
Telling you, we gotta start that brewery that releases seasonal beers at the beginning of the season.
We could make millions.
Yeah.
We only do one beer run each season. We only brew 4 times a year.
Right. So anyways, back to Echoes. This is Dark as Night, 1 billion SRM, as we like to say.
But could a T-Rex find you in it?
Can the T-Rex find us in it? Let's find out. I want to point out this is a 12-ounce can, which we don't see too often anymore. But let's find out. Let's see. I don't think so. I think we're... Oh, no. There's no way. No way.
A Velociraptor couldn't find you in that.
No way. Zero light protruding through this beer.
I like how Obert is finally going along with it.
he's
adding
accepted
more elements to the scale.
Yeah, he's accepted it as part of the history of the podcast.
It's in the lore now.
But no, not much of a head. The head didn't even pour very heavy, so I got basically nothing. So -1 point already. So you got tough bellies to fill there, Fox Farm.
So remind us what this is again. It's Echoes. What is it?
Yes. So this is a Baltic Porter. I was looking for the can, couldn't find it. A Baltic Porter aged in bourbon barrels. And stainless steel with honey. So I imagine it goes to the bourbon barrel for a time, then goes into the stainless steel, or vice versa. I guess I don't know. Fox Farm, right in. Let us know. Let us know. And for those of you at home that are wondering, this is 11% ABV. This is a interesting life choice I made today.
Yeah, there's a reason why they put it in a 12-ouncer, right?
Yeah, there you go. I didn't even think about that, but here we go. So anyways, let's get into it. Let's have a nice, beautiful, my last Fox Farm beer that I have. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, I feel honored, Chris. The beer may be gone, but it will live on as a shirt forever.
Multiple shirts.
That is true. Many shirts. Okay. All right. So it's very good. Very good. Now, being a porter, it definitely has that less thick taste than you would with a stout, so definitely on the lighter side as far as that mouthfeel is concerned. However, you do get a hefty amount of bourbon flavor in this thing. So
Saudi Arabia bought WWE.
Really? Like the country?
Yeah, like the same people who bought Live. Sorry, this is going to be in the podcast episode anyway. Screw it. Yeah. So the same country that started Live just bought the WWE.
What? That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Wait, didn't they go to Saudi Arabia? Isn't that where they...
Yeah, they've been going to Saudi Arabia for the past couple of years.
Oh, Jesus. Stupid Vince. Vince ruins everything. What? That's insane.
That's nuts.
That is insane.
It's going private, owned by Saudi Arabia.
Golly. Buy your shares now. I don't know.
Now it's going to be Saturday morning Raw.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, all the wrestlers have to move to Saudi Arabia. I don't think that's how that works, but they will be doing a lot more pay-per-views in Saudi Arabia, I can tell you that.
Oh my God. Well, I know they had like a 10-year, $1 billion deal already. So like, I guess you're already 1 billion of the way there. You might as well just go all the way in. Golly,
holy shit.
Well, there you go. AEW. Like, for real though. Golly, y'all. That is nuts. Holy cow. Wow. You heard it here first.
Oh, I'm sure. This is where the news broke for all of us.
This is where it broke.
Yep, this is where it's happening. We have to keep a tradition of old sports news.
Red hot old sports news.
Wow. Doesn't even say how much money. I would just assume a metric shit ton.
Oh, it has to
get paid in oil.
Because they were already evaluated at like $15 billion. So I'm assuming that Saudi Arabia had to beat that.
Right. Wow. That
would also explain why Stephanie left. I mean, she probably didn't want to work for the Saudis.
Also true. They probably made her resign.
Can't have a woman CEO.
No.
Gives their women bad ideas.
Awful. Oh man, Vince, you ruin everything. Write in, please.
Wow.
Golly, y'all. Anyways, back to my beer. That's baffling. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you were making the face, and I was like, did I say something like egregiously wrong about this beer? Like,
no.
It's like this is not even close to right. Like, Anywho's,
Chris, it secretly tastes like a lager. It looks like a lager. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, right. It's just straight up lager. Straight lager. But anywho, on this beer, I do get a lot of the bourbon coming through, which isn't bad, but it doesn't do a great job of covering up the 11% alcohol. I think that's what the honey's supposed to do, but to be honest, and maybe it's because it's cold, I'm not getting a ton of honey right now, so...
Well, you already kind of gave it up a little bit by saying this is your second can of it. Similar to the last one you had?
I mean, that I remember, yes. I didn't log into Untapped, but I also feel like I may have already been a couple drinks in when I had the first one, so that definitely plays a role in it as well. Overall, I think it's slightly worse than last time, but I should let this warm up and see how it is. Still not bad. Definitely not a bad beer, especially if you like I'm gonna just warn you, all you folks out there, if you don't like bourbon flavor, this is not the beer for you. Sometimes you can get by and it'll be like a slight bourbon, blah, but if this is like very bourbony, porters don't really do a great job with having like a lot of flavor to them to be able to cover up or be able to work as well. I think if this was a stout, it would be a lot better. But I think about that most times I have a porter. So, still not bad.
Real quick. So this beer was aged in both bourbon oak barrels and stainless steel casks as well.
Yes, that's based on what I read off the can. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would expect that to be less bourbony in flavor. But
yeah, that's a good point. A good point. But yeah, no, and again, it maybe needs to warm up a little bit, but I don't get a ton of honey on it either. So, I mean, maybe a tiny bit, but not enough. Not like what Tud was saying with like the sweetness and stuff like that he got out of his beer. So, that being said, still not a bad beer. Definitely, in my opinion, not Fox Farm's best. Sorry, Fox Farm. I'm gonna be they're gonna rip the shirts right off of me.
Yeah, no shirts for you anymore.
Yeah, they're gonna shut me down. You're done. But still not a bad beer.
So I looked this up because I wanted to know how they did this, just because it seems like we're very confused on this aging process. So they fermented this one low and slow with our lager yeast in cold conditioned stainless steel for 8 weeks before transferring a portion, about 60%, to Buffalo Trace barrels. The stainless steel and oak aged components were blended back together prior to packaging.
Oh, interesting.
So I was very curious. I was getting kind of curious to know how that worked. So stainless steel first with the honey, threw it in the bourbon barrels, half of it, assuming that you lose 10% volume as it ages, and then mix it back together.
Interesting. Okay. I don't think, that's good to know. So, me personally, I'm going to give it a 3.75. It's, if you like bourbon barrel-aged beers, like, it's a solid one. It's just, I feel like they could have done more. It could have came out, I don't know, a little better, me being nitpicky. So for me, 3.75, probably the lowest grade I've ever given a Fox Farm beer. But I just, it's good. It's fine.
Well, if you had to guess out of 802 check-ins.
Okay.
What do you think the Untapped-diverse thinks?
This is so hard. Because there's definite hot pipe, obviously. We all know the hot pipe around Fox Farm is real.
Fun fact, their description mentions no such thing as hops in this beer. So, maybe you discount that a little bit.
Oh, that's true. That is true. It's a porter. It's not an IPA, so who knows? No, I think I'm like fighting with myself. I don't know if it breaks 4. It has to, right? Like, it's Fox Farm. Fox Farm has to break 4. I don't think it's going to be... My initial thought was one thing. I think I'm going to second guess myself, and I'm going to go up 0.1. I'm going to give it a 4.03 based on math that I just did in my head.
So, no, it's actually very high. It's a 4.26.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Couldn't even squeak in under Tud.
This beer is not a 4.26. It's not a 4.26.
MOTP.
Oh my God.
I thought it was MOPT.
No, man of Tud, comma people.
Oh, I thought it was man of people, semicolon Tud.
It's both. It's whatever I choose it to be on any given day.
What is this? Is not a 426. It is not. It's
Chord
not.
Untapped. It's a 4.26.
No, listen.
People love it.
Listen, no, they don't. They're like, oh, I have to go to Fox Farm, and they drive to the middle. They drive to literally the middle of nowhere, Salem, Connecticut.
I will
They're
say
like,
that
these beers better be the best beers ever.
They have
And
a rotary.
true.
That's true.
And a
They
pizza
used to
place.
have a Four Corners. Now they have a rotary.
Yeah, too many people died at the Four Corners.
And a pizza place.
Pizza place top notch. I'll give Fox
And a
Farm
Dunk.
top notch.
And a Dunkin'.
And a Dunkies. There's 2 pizza places, but one of them.
And a butcher too.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That roundabout, that 4 roundabout it's hopping.
Yeah. And a house of doors in case you want to buy some doors while you're in there.
There you go. That's what ties it all together.
Having had this beer both in can and on
Draft.
Yeah, draft. There. That's a better word than on tap. I liked it better on draft.
Okay.
So that could be part of it too.
I think it had more flavor on draft. I was very similar to you, Chris. I thought that it was lacking. I thought I was confused because I was like, I remember really liking this at the brewery and then not liking it out of the can. So I think there's a difference with it being on draft.
Well, that's unfortunate because what I just drank is not a 326. It's not bad. It's not a 326. A 426. 426. I'm sorry.
You're right. It is not a 326.
Now I'm looking. Now I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
I still can't believe they got sold to Saudi Arabia.
No, rating by can is still a 4.22. So I don't know. Anyways, it's wrong. Okay. Untapped is wrong. I'm officially filing a recount, a complaint.
It's rigged.
Yeah, it's rigged.
The Untapped voting machines are rigged.
I almost gave it a 393. That was my original thought, was a 393.
Well, that would have been just embarrassing.
Oh yeah, thank God I didn't. Oh lordy. Okay. Well, anyways, Obert, there you go.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can't salvage
Super wide open.
our average guest for tonight, and we'll see if our listeners can figure out the theme of tonight's episode.
Probably not.
With I'm glad I didn't go second because it might have thrown some people off, but I have the gingerbread fog, which is the gingerbread version of the Wandering into the Fog by Abomination Brewing Company. I've said it was the best IPA I had of 2020. I don't think I've had a better one since then. The original, the OG. It was just that good. Just did something to my taste buds that I'll never forget. But, it's one of those things where it's like, you go back and have it the second time, it's never as good. Never as good as when you fell in love,
True.
It never feels like the first time again.
Correct. This one, bought a 4-pack at Broadway Spirits in Colchester. Drank a couple of them, flew back to Montana with this last one. Said, I know where I'm going to have it. Drink it with my my besties on the podcast. And haven't checked this one in, like Chris said, being pure. But we'll see. A gingerbread IPA, that's an interesting take, right? On the they had a I've had a few marshmallow IPAs. I think last episode I had the Astro Fluff. Those aren't for me. They had a marshmallow version of the fog that I was not going to get.
I will state that the marshmallow version of the fog is my favorite version of these fogs. They do a whole fog. They do a fog nog, a gingerbread fog, a Wandering in the Snow, and one other one that I'm drawing a blank on. The Wandering in the Snow is my favorite one. So I really am upset you didn't buy one. That's the marshmallow one. I think you would have liked it. I think I've had overpowered marshmallow ones. I think you would have liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be right, but it being, again, a derivative of one of my favorite IPAs, I didn't want to tarnish the reputation with something I might not have liked. So played it safe. Again, when I'm in Connecticut, I only can have so many beers to drink. So I had to be very selective,
Makes sense.
Couldn't drink everything I wanted to, even though I tried. Poured it here. It's what you would imagine a beer named Wandering into the Fog looks like. If you were a T-Rex and you wandered into this fog, you'd be hungry. That's all I'll say. Gingerbread on the nose. Actually, I take it back. Ginger on the nose.
What about cinnamon?
How about
you get a lot of cinnamon on the nose?
Oh, yeah. So much cinnamon. That's all I smell.
Telling you, doesn't exist. Never said it before in your life.
No, yeah, it smells like fresh baked gingerbread. It smells like a gingerbread house is about to be made in my mouth.
Ooh, sounds kind of hot.
I'd let it cool before assembling. Otherwise, the joints wouldn't stick, you know?
Yeah.
Frosting
You do
flavors
you,
just
man.
melt. Tud has an advanced gingerbread house building technique that involves a lot of bending still pliable gingerbread pieces. That's how he gets the shingles so perfect.
Get no seams that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you put this beer in front of me blindfolded, I would not tell you that this is an IPA that I'm about to drink. It smells like kind of like the beer that Tud described in terms of, I would expect this to be a spiced ale or maybe even approaching that porter territory, not IPA. But enough about the nose tastes. Let's dive in.
Hey, you know why there's no such thing as, I can't remember the fourth one, because apparently they only make 3.
To sell the mixed 3-packs.
Yeah, I don't know how, they do sell it in 4-packs, so I'm assuming they give you 2 of one of them.
OG is my guess. You get a OG.
Ooh, there you
Wandering.
go. That's smart.
I can see that.
Wow. Okay. This tastes different. I always discount beers a little bit after I've flown with them. They've been in the baggage handling area. They got warm, they got cold, then they got on a plane, they got cold and warm. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening after I drop my bag off through luggage and when I get it back. But a lot of things do based on the condition my bag often appears in.
Your bag's seen some shit.
It has. This beer, a lot of times the IPAs, because through that temperature change, the hops fade really fast, which actually I think did this beer kind of some favors because I get more potent gingerbread flavor than I did before, where it tasted more like an IPA with gingerbread. This one, the IPA base is has mellowed out more, and I get much more of a gingerbread flavored beer, which is good. I think it doesn't taste as good now because it's January. So Christmas beers don't taste as sweet.
It only came out December 1st, I think.
Yeah, I would believe that because this was canned 11/29, so it's probably from that first run that they sold beginning of the month.
So still pretty fresh.
Very fresh.
Yeah.
Very tasty. The thing that I like so much about their Wandering into the Fog that is unlike other IPAs I've had is it has a richer mouthfeel, verging on creaminess, but it is in a way that complements the IPA flavors instead of like curdling with them. Mm-hmm. I've had creamy IPAs that just the bitter and the creaminess just don't jive. I think a lot of lactose IPAs, sometimes if they're too much, it just doesn't work. Whatever they do over at Abomination, they got to figure it out. This is really the first time I've been able to savor this one because I had it traveling and partying with friends. I wasn't really drinking the beer just to enjoy it. Now that I'm sitting down with it, I could say this is a solid 4 1/4. I want to give it a 4.5, but I think the baggage of the Wandering into the Fog means that this edition only doesn't enhance the beer. It's like a cheap knockoff. It's still really good, but I just wish I had a regular Wandering.
Right. That's all the series that I've had from them. Spectacular. So good.
Absolutely.
But what do you think 2,647 other people think of this beer?
Low check-in count. I was expecting more, but it's got the hype. I think they're kind of with me. I don't know if people like the Abominations as much as I do. I don't know the meta, the meta on the Abomination check-ins, but I hope they like it as much as I do.
I'm gonna look away because I can't help you.
No, I'm not looking at you. Don't worry. I'm gonna say 4.12.
All right, so no, they don't quite like it as much as you do. However, I think you were able to sneak it under Tud's guess. What was Tud? Tud was
0.22.
0.22?
If it's above a 3.9, I got it.
It is, yeah. 3.95. 3.95.
Nice.
So,
I won't lie, I was playing the get inside 0.22 game.
Such bullshit.
Hey, it's why you got to pick last.
That's right. I guess so. Yeah. So 3.95. Apparently they did not like it quite as much as you, but still not bad. Almost a 4. I can see it being a 9.1% alcohol too. Golly.
Yeah.
I can see it being a bit of a polarizing beer a little bit. I feel like, and Tud, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were trying to give it away with your face, but I feel like people really enjoy the Wandering into the Fog series.
They love the Wandering into the Fog series. It's very well thought of. I mean, they have a whole damn rare fog day every single year just to celebrate Abomination and Water.
I mean, I could have a Chris Beardad Appreciation Day, but that doesn't mean anybody cares.
Just show up. Well, it would be nice if we had like a way to compare like the highest ranked beers in Connecticut to see how the Wandering in the Fog stacks up with some of these other ones we talked about tonight, like the Ice Cream Man, or some of like what was the Fox Farm one that we had at your house, Ted? I don't know if it was not the Allura, but
we didn't have it at my house. You had it at Ben's house.
That's right.
And it was the Weil.
That one was so good.
Which is fantastic.
Well, it's impossible to know. Anyways, bye guys.
Yeah, that's been a fun. Jordan, take it away.
Yeah, so I guess the question is, listeners, before we reveal it, I'm just going to ask, what do you think today's theme is?
We'll
I'm going
be
to put
waiting.
about 10 minutes of silence in here, just to give you some time to mull it over. No, you can hit pause and finish your commute, do some grocery shopping, come back, hit play.
Personally, I think that it was winter theme.
It was going to be if Chris had gone third.
That's true.
Chris didn't have a winter beer. He just had a porter.
That's true. That is true.
But as
I think
true.
it's I think it's worst untapped guesses of all time of podcast history.
Theme.
I think
we've seen worse.
But collectively, all of us have we all
got 210 chances to go back and check, but yeah,
true.
Well,
what's your guess?
It's impossible, I guess. My guess is impossible.
Is it 860 breweries? No. Abomination's not an 860.
Abomination comes with the 203.
Yeah. But getting closer, I think.
Oh, damn. I think we'll never know.
No.
So you're not going to tell us that?
No, so the theme of today's the theme of today's beers was obviously Connecticut beers.
Yep.
And the reason that we decided to do that today is we found a list of, it's the actual wording of this list, highest rated beer in Connecticut according to Stacker.com.
Which pulls the data from Beer Advocate. So this is Beer Advocate's highest rated Connecticut beers.
Okay.
So how are we going to do this? There are on this list 30 beers.
Golly.
We don't want to run down
go through all 30. Why don't we I think we should definitely do top 15, but and again, link is in the show notes, but just scrolling through the other bottom 15, 15 through 30, are there any on this list that you think deserve to be in the top 15 or like you totally disagree with?
I mean, I disagree with how low No Hope for the Kids is.
Who's that by?
That is by Counterweight. It's not their only entry on this list, by the way.
No.
They're on here quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually another Counterweight one because I'm not in there, but 24 Headway, I feel like that should be maybe a little higher.
That one stuck out to me, and I will say, Ted, I don't know if you caught this, but it does say that there's a maximum of 5 beers per brewery included on this list.
So then I'm pretty upset that most of Counterweight's beers are pretty low on this list. Considering that they have they have 4 beers in the bottom 15.
I mean, that's still impressive for a brewery to have 4 of the top 30 beers.
Oh, it's very good, and I think No Hope for the Kids is probably Counterweight's best beer. It's my favorite of their beers, at least. So for it to be that low, I'm immediately going to have an issue with it. Short Throw Brewing Company coming in at 21. Short Throw technically doesn't... I understand they brew out of 12%, but they're technically not from Connecticut. I believe they're from Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, like if I saw,
Richmond, Virginia.
Sip of Sunshine on here, I would say no. Do we lose Chris?
No, I just scrolled through the list and I'm so angry at the top 5.
Oh, we'll get there.
I know. I'm so mad now, though. I shouldn't have scrolled. Damn it.
Another big brewery in the bottom 15 is New Park. A lot of their beers pop up here the same as Counterweight. I mean, they've got 1, 2...
Headband, Cloudscape. What were some of the other ones?
3. They've got 4. So they've got Cloudscape, Headband, Laurel...
Wavelength.
And Wavelength, all on the bottom 15. Which is still good that they're in here. but they're better than that. Speaking of, by the way, back east, Double Scoop comes in at number 18. Dogs and Boats, another one of our collective favorites from Beard, that comes in at number 17.
See, I haven't scrolled through, maybe, without talking about the best of the list. Those seem appropriately rated to me as Connecticut beers. Like hashtag no filter is also in the bottom 15, and I think that's appropriate. I think it's a great Hooker's best beer, but
yeah,
still Hooker's never blown me away.
No, and I mean, hashtag no filter is fine. It's a good beer.
Right. 22's fine place for it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I don't like I think
too juicy, hashtag no filter, whatever. They're kind of the same.
Okay. I think Double Scoop is not as good as Ice Cream Man. I don't think that you guys agree with me on that last time we talked about it, but I don't
know if I've ever had
Man.
Double Scoop personally. I may have had like a can, but I don't think I've had a ton.
Still pretty good. I mean, it's good.
Yeah. But okay, there's a reason, I'm not going to lie, there's a reason why I picked 15 as the cutoff. Because number 15 is none other than Fox Farms Witch Meadow.
Right.
Phenomenal beer. Too expensive, fair to say.
I love
but
it.
it's very good.
Yeah. I mean, it's very good. I have bottles from the last, I don't think I have this past year, but the last years before that, I have bottles still.
I have them all. I have at least one bottle from every run of Witch Meadow.
Nice.
Since they started Witch Meadow.
Let's go.
And so again, this is not using Untapped's ratings. This is using Beer Advocate's ratings, and it only has 26 with a 4.4 average.
I was wondering if that's if like they were weighted averages, because like it's got a 4.4, which is very high, as you'll come to see, but only 26 ratings. So I wonder if like it doesn't have
that knocked it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Witch Meadow came about in a time when Beer Advocate was pretty much already dead. Like I know Beer Advocate still exists today, but like it's not Untapped.
Yeah, it's definitely more of like an internet forum, which I think the culture has gotten more into just the whole app aspect of just checking things in while you're out. Makes things a little easier with Untapped.
Yeah.
But we got to go through this list. Number 14, Hobbit Juice from Beard.
It's good. I like Dogs and Boats better. Like off the top, just like I think this is solid. It's not their best beer though.
Yeah, I think No Hope for the Kids is better. I think a lot of those New Park beers are better.
Yeah,
still a good beer. I would not be upset if that was in at 30.
See, I disagree. I think I really like Hobbit Juice. Beard was one of the few breweries I did make it to when I was back home. And
did you go to New Spot? I assume do they only operate the New Spot?
It's so weird.
They operate both.
Spot.
Oh, they do? Okay.
It's literally the middle of nowhere in Groton. You're like, where am I? I don't know. I think I enjoy Hobbit Juice for what it is. I think at the time when it came out, it was one of Beard's best beers. I still think it is a great one. But agree to disagree. That's fine. Maybe, everybody has their own take. Number 13, Lowbrow Nobility from Short Throw Brewing.
Again, not a brewery based in Connecticut.
What?
And also, 4.36 Beer Advocate rating.
Technically, I guess it is brewed out of 12%, but the brewery is technically in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's kind of malarkey then. Anyways,
they've been on the list twice already.
Number 12, Virid Southern Hemisphere from Fox Farm again.
Way too low.
Agreed.
I've never had this one.
Pretty good.
It's good. It's a IPA made by Fox Farm. It's good.
Is it one of their top fives? I mean, I think we saw this is probably the first or second most popular Fox Farm. If they're only doing
had
5.
This beer when it was under a different name.
Okay.
I think it was called Vera Vescent back when you were a Fox Farm regular.
Interesting.
And they've since changed it to Virid because it's an easier name to spell, I guess.
Yeah. Well, closing out my 5, number 11, Fox Farm Burst. I like Burst a lot.
I like Burst as well.
Again, I think too low.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's in my top 10 favorite Connecticut beers, but
so too low.
But yeah, I don't think it's. I haven't had every Connecticut beer either, so.
I think it's. I mean, I think it's always considered one of the top 2 beers or 3 beers in Connecticut. Like it's up there.
Yeah. Okay, so Ted, what's number 10?
Number 10 is another Fox Farm beer, Alta, which is another IPA. Mm-hmm. Again, I think it's still too low. But this is Alta. It's hard to rate Fox Farm's beer. I love Alta as well. You can't have. I guess you can't have all Fox Farm beers in a row in the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But speaking of that, going on to the next beer, number 9 is another Fox Farm beer.
Oh, really?
That's Double Burst, which I actually think should be considered the number 1 beer in the state. That is the beer.
Really?
Well, Burst.
I didn't even know they made Double Burst.
Double Burst is probably my favorite Fox Farm beer, and that's
Burst
basically means it's my favorite beer.
Burst is the Fox Farm Julius.
Yeah.
Double Burst is the King Julius. I mean, but they brew it a lot, so it's not like it's impossible to find. Like back old Treehouse used to be
really good.
But those are easily most always considered the best 2 beers in the state. Not even really close. I mean, I think there's obviously arguments, counterweights up there as being a really good brewery. Abomination, but Fox Farm has like that edge over all of them, and it's really frustrating that they put all their beers in a row and said, nah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this one I don't agree with, but yeah, I think
so to back them up a little bit, Burst has a 4.31, Alt has a 4.34, and Double Burst has a 4.38, all with similar amounts of rankings between 50 and 150. So I could see why they ended up next to each other on the list. But if you next time I come to Connecticut, Tud, I hope you have a fresh can of Double Burst waiting for me.
I know. I feel like it's never gonna live up to the hype for Robert right now.
It's really.
Well, that's why I didn't want you. I didn't even ask you to send me a can because
I don't trust airplanes, etc.
Yeah. I want to get it straight from the source. But okay. Anyway, what were you? Other thoughts on Double Burst, Alta?
No, just kind of upset that all 5 of Fox Farm's beers have been used, and we're only at number 9, which means this list is entirely fucking garbage. Should be thrown out. There's 2 beers already on this list from a brewery that's not really based in Connecticut. And having scrolled ahead, I think I'm only going to get more and more angry.
Okay, well, what's the next one?
The next one I don't disagree with. Is it's Artista Zernergia. Artista Zernergia. Odorless.
Keep going. Yeah.
By OEC Brewing Company, which is it's a wild ale. OEC's they're considered the second best sour brewery in the world outside of Cantillon. This is their second beer on this list. Number 30 was another beer by them, and that was Albus, which was a wit beer by OEC. So that would be one that Obert would go there and order because he only has had non-sour beers.
I still haven't gotten the whole OEC thing yet.
Yeah, so you would go there and get the wit beer. Meanwhile, I'd get the Artistia Zernigia Odulis.
Yeah, I've never been there, to be clear.
Well, it's a cool brewery. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Oxford, right?
It's in Oxford, but it's next to the airport, so there's nothing around it.
Yeah, that's actually the same thing with Beard's, the new location. It's next to the airport, and nothing's around it. But can I just say before we move on here, one thing that's been missing? We haven't seen any 2 roads anywhere on this top from 30 to number 8 yet.
Yeah, I can tell you that you're not going to see it.
Wow.
Spoilers. Spoiler alert.
I mean, maybe if they weren't busy putting on breweries that don't get brewed in Connecticut or that aren't from Connecticut, maybe they'd be on here. Because coming in at number 7 is another beer by Short Throw, which again, as I've mentioned before, from Richmond, Virginia, and it is their Imperial Stout called What It Do. Had it, it's good. It's not better than any of the beers we put before it or put previously to it. But according to this list, it weighs in at number 7. Yeah. So moving on to number 6. Is New Park Brewing's highest rated beer, which is their blender series, and this one they picked was raspberry. New Park does this is their sour beers. This is they do different fruit additions to all their sour beers. They're all called blenders. It's fruity kettle sour. It's delicious. They're still probably the hardest New Park beers to find, just because they sell out really quick when they brew these. This was their first smash hit beer.
Poop.
So I'm done with my 5.
Yeah, I guess I'll do the quote unquote top 5. And I want to preface this with reading ahead. These beers are for sure not bad. I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't.
Chris 100% agrees with this list. He's the author. All complaints should be directed to him.
Oh man. Okay, so number 5, we have a staple in the Connecticut beer scene for 20 years. We got G-Bot from Nebco. So
it's a great beer.
Great beer. Top 5?
No, we've already went over
Yeah.
10 beers better, or I'll say 8 beers better.
Yeah. I mean, great beer. Great beer.
I'll say 10. I'm not afraid to say it.
Back in the day, finding a Gandhi bot out. Oh, I said it. Oh, finding.
But
I
will say, I think it's going to get knocked down a few pegs from 8 as well, or 9, or wherever I put it.
Yeah.
Having looked ahead.
Okay. Another one. Number 4, Double Fuzzy Baby Ducks, also by Nebco.
That would be number 8.
Solid beer. Nothing wrong with it. Next is weird Coriolis by Nebco. So another Nebco beer at number 3.
I've never even heard of this one.
This is one that, like, I don't know if they didn't brew it like a lot when they first started doing it, but it was really hard to come by. Like, I think you can even maybe to this day only get it at the brewery. You
can only get it on draft.
Okay, you can only get it on draft. There you go. So that's probably why you haven't seen it in stores.
I've been to this brewery.
And they didn't have it?
In December of 2019, and they did not have it.
It's a good beer. It's not better than Double Fuzzy.
I have had it. Okay.
It's not better than G-Bot.
I mean, I thought it was good. I gave it a 4 1/4. So
it's not better than Double Burst or Burst or Alta or Virid or
no. What did I give Double Burst? What did I give that? I think I probably gave it
4.5, 4.75.
I probably gave it a 4.75, knowing me. I gave it a 4.5, so but still, very good. All right, so number 2, another Nebco beer, Locust Rain, which I have not had this beer. I have not had this one, so
it's good. It's a good beer. I don't think it's better than the other Nebco beers before it.
I have had this. Oh my god, I do not remember. I gave it a 4.
Just shows how unmemorable it is.
I gave it a 4 1/4. I went to Nebco once. And that was it. So I have had it. And then number 1, believe it or not, sweeping the top 5 is New England Brewing Company's Fuzzy Baby Ducks. So again,
I think you could make the argument of FBD being Nebco's best beer. I say this as someone who didn't recognize the names of 2 previous on this list.
I think Double Fuzzy's better.
Okay, fair, reasonable. But I don't believe that Nebco is the best brewery by a long shot.
No,
it's
I
not.
I think it's top 7.
It's very good. You can't discount they don't make great beer. They do.
Totally.
But I don't know. Sweeping the top 5 though, that's just like I feel like Beer Advocate was bought out by New England Brewing Company, and that's
or it's possible that this Stacker.com list just is a bad list.
No, probably not that.
What this is, I didn't want to say this. I didn't want to read this because I don't want to bias people against the list. But I'm going to read the first sentence of this article that we skipped over. It says, if you drink beer, any beer, you've likely heard of the craft beer revolution, and you'll likely fall into one of 2 camps: IPA warrior or lager loyalist. Like, that's all that you could drink is a lager or an IPA. That's it. Keep in mind that like half of the beers on this list don't fall into either of those categories, right? Like, I don't know. If we did in 2022 our list of the best East Coast beers. It might be time, gents. Might be time to tackle these best Connecticut beers.
Oof.
There'd be a lot of arguing.
We're not afraid to rank them.
Fisticuffs. Todd might have to send some beer to the 2 other co-hosts for sampling purposes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But
you gotta do it blind.
Well, we need at least a baseline.
Nope.
But I think it needs to happen this year. I think we should slot it in after Mr. Oscar. Just get in there and tell the world the true ranking of Connecticut beers.
Oh my god, I'm here for it. We'll do it. We'll get it done. Easy. I already have it. I already have it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think Athletic is obviously number 1.
Yes.
The blue can.
The blue can.
Yeah. Okay, but we're overdue. We gotta get out of it. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get to these handles. Frosty mug, that's the thing that happens. But to get there, we got to go through this hallway of honks, I believe it's called, that I confidently will walk down with a 3-handled mug while my co-hosts honk alongside of me.
Boo.
This is me walking.
Boo. Boo. Boo.
I'm going actually to put the old, that was me walking to the freezer, when I'm going to put this clean, dry Frosty mug, unfrosty mug in and pulling out the real Frosty mug. I do a 1-for-1 exchange. Those 3 handles take up a lot of space, you know?
Yeah.
But if this is your first episode of Drinking Alone with Friends, first of all, welcome. But second of all, what we do here is we take a mug out of the freezer. We fill it with metaphorical things like knowledge, wisdom, products, Christmas presents, coal, perhaps.
Ooh, dibs on coal.
Dibs on coal. Just stuff that we think that you need to know about. But again, assuming this is your first episode you ever listened to, you are in for a treat in a few seconds when you get to hear this song from our friend Jordan. Jordan, take it away.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Mug of wisdom! Drink. Mug of wisdom!
Okay, thanks, Jordan. Wasn't that such a good song?
It was
You
awesome.
can hear
Yeah.
You can hear him on episode 209 of this podcast and nowhere else.
So we signed an exclusive with him.
Yep.
For one episode. But okay, I am the frostiest of the mugs this week. That's what we say here.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I'm going to go first. I'm keeping
Ooh.
this mug all for me, and I'm sharing
With no one.
I'm sharing a game. And actually, I have a few games. When I was back in Connecticut, I stopped by the game store because it's much better selection than the game store we have here. And we stocked up, got some good stuff for the flight home, played some games, and I said, I cannot wait to tell all of my friends who listen to my podcast, because I consider all of our listeners my friends, about these games. So my handle this week is a game called Boss Monster. So Boss Monster has a lot of similar elements of Munchkin where it's a card game. It's not a hand building game. It's a dungeon building game where you have a hand of cards and you are a boss. The game looks like an NES box is what the Boss Monster physical box looks like. And so you're like an 8-bit boss from their classic dungeon side-scrolling games, and you are playing against your other players who are also bosses, and you have to build dungeons to lure heroes to fight and die in your dungeon. And the goal is to make a dungeon powerful enough to kill heroes without attracting heroes that are too powerful to beat your dungeon. It's a 2 to 4 person game. It reminds me, so the reason I asked about Munchkin is because it reminds me a lot of those elements where like the cards are funny. It doesn't take up a lot of space, just have like a simple hand of cards. The game takes like 20, 30 minutes to play. It's a casual game. There's not like a ton of strategy that you're going to play. It's very dependent on what you draw. It's just a fun social game to play if you're drinking or hanging out or sitting on a plane with some screaming children a row behind you. My biggest complaint about the game was that after playing it like 5 or 6 times, I felt like I was ready for the expansion. There wasn't a ton of content. But if you're someone who, like me, after dinner, likes to maybe sit down and bust out a board game to play, with your partner on the couch, or, if your idea of fun on a Friday night is going on a double date and playing a 4-person card game, then check out Boss Monster. It was like $20, 6.3 stars on Board Game Geek, so that's pretty average. Link in the show notes. Check it out, please. With that, I'm going to give the Frosty Mug over to Tud.
So my handle this week is a show on Netflix called Rise of Empires, Ottoman. There are 2 seasons of this show out on Netflix currently, and I'm in season 1. But it's a very good show so far. So what it is it's kind of half a documentary with, actual professors and historians from 2022 or 2023 or whenever the first season was made, talking about how the Ottoman Empire how it rose up and how it eventually captures Constantinople. I know, sorry, spoiler alert, but eventually the Ottoman Empire does take over Constantinople.
I'm not gonna watch it.
And the other part of it is like is an actual like scripted TV show where they show I don't want to pronounce the ruler's name wrong, but it's Mehmed the Second. He's the Sultan of the Ottoman Turks. And it's actually some guy playing Mehmed the Second, and Constantine, I think the Third, is who was the last emperor of the Eastern Roman Empire. But it shows them as kind of like a Game of Thrones style scripted show where, they don't know these conversations actually occurred, but they're building up the suspense and all that. And then they'll cut back and they'll have historians kind of talk over the top and say, this is what he was thinking and this is what he wrote here. And it'll go and, they'll talk to some historians where, it'll cut to like the standard documentary thing where the historian will be kind of in like a dark room, kind of talking to nobody. So it's kind of weird and jarring at first when you first watch it. You're like, am I watching a TV show or am I watching a documentary? And it's kind of both. There's a second season where it's them versus it's the Ottomans versus Vlad the Impaler. So it's Mehmed versus Vlad the Impaler. It's season 2. So I recommend going to check it out. Start with season 1, The Conquest of Constantinople, and see if you like it. If you're a big fan of Game of Thrones style TV shows, I think you'll like it. And also, if you're a fan of documentaries, I think you may also get something out of it too. It's a really cool blend of a show. I wish they would do more of these Rise of an Empire. Maybe they will, because it is called Rise of an Empire with a colon. So maybe they'll eventually switch to a different empire. So with that, I'm going to hand the mug over to Chris.
All right. So for me, I want to put over a product that was recommended to me from a coworker. I was like talking about how me personally, I drink a lot of coffee. I know a lot of people know that. I drink a lot of things that are bad for your teeth, etc. But coffee is one of the main offenders. And since I'm on camera a lot and things of that nature, I wanted to try some teeth whitening strips or some kind of teeth whitening product. And they recommended a product called Zimba, which is teeth whitening strips. They're vegan. I guess that makes a difference. But anywho, you can get them right on Amazon. They're about $20 for a 1-2 week treatment, and I've been using them. This is like day 4 or 5 for me right now, and they make, I'm not gonna lie, they make a difference. They do make a difference. I went with these because they're enamel safe. And I've tried whitening strips in the past that have made my teeth very sensitive, and so far these have not. So if you drink a lot of coffee like me and you want to take care of your teeth or make them look a little bit better, give them a shot. I mean, shoot, $20. They're working so far. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep an update going for day 14. See, be blinding you guys with my
I was gonna say we'll have to turn the camera off.
Out of his head.
Yeah, or that, one of the two. But I mean, super easy to use. You put them on for 30 minutes and a day, and I've noticed a difference so far, so I'm happy with them. I was always nervous. I don't know about nervous, but I don't know. Yeah, I want to have white teeth.
Just pearly whites.
Yeah, exactly. So check them out. They're called Zimba, Zimba. Almost like Tud's cat, but not.
See, I've always used pure unenamel safe animal rawhide for my teeth.
Oh.
That, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for an upgrade.
Just not on that for a while.
Yeah.
Man, it works, right?
Hey.
Yeah. Fuck my enamel.
Yeah, enamel is
Who needs enamel?
Birds. Nobody. I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But.
And so with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. We'd like to thank the breweries who provided today's beers. I will thank Back East for their Winterfest beer.
I would like to thank Fox Farm for their Echoes.
And I will thank Abomination for their Gingerbread Fog.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us everywhere at DAWF Podcast. Also, make sure you follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Also, please make sure you head over to Discord and join the conversation over there with other friends of the podcast. And you can join them in talking anything that has to do with drinking alone with friends or not. If you want to talk to other listeners of the show about what you had for breakfast, go do that. People will talk back, don't worry. Also, head over to Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can get extra episodes of Drinking Alone with Friends. We call them that the pregame. This week, Obert drank a pregame beer. So if you want to hear more about what Obert's pregame beer was, it's from a different country. Hint, hint. Head over there, and for as little as $1 a month, you can listen to that, and you help support the podcast at the same time. And if you're, say you don't want to spend money, but you still want to help the podcast, head over to your favorite podcast listening app and drop us a 5-star rating and a review. And make sure you're spreading this podcast to your friends and family by telling them, hey, check out this podcast. It's kind of funny. They talk about beer. I would say that we're even good for non-beer drinkers because we're still pretty funny. So go check that out. And with that, my name's Tud.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
Or drink by yourself and record it.
Yeah. And email us, drinkingalonewithfriends@gmail.com.
I said that.
That's, we haven't gotten much mail lately, so.
It's true. If you're drinking alone by yourself, email us. That way you don't feel like you're drinking alone by yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
We can be the friends via email.
Yes, we'll be your
Drinking
friend.
alone with correspondence. Our new segment.
Yeah, Tud guarantees a response by the end of your beer.
I do?
Yep.
Or your beer, or you get your beer back.
Or he sends you a beer for free.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
I don't remember agreeing to this. I will respond back to you.
It was in our contract we signed at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.